What is going on YouTube? Espresso Shucko here, and today we are hitting the Regulation F ranked ladder with Terrakion and Whimiscott. Joining these two here today are going to be Landorus-Therian, Latias, Incineroar, and Empoleon. What are we going to do here today? We are going to cause as much mayhem as possible with the Beat Up Whimiscott Justified Terrakion strat. So basically, for those of you who might not know, Beat Up hits the target for as many times as you have active Pokemon in your team. Since in double battles we have 4 Pokemon, that's 4 hits. We're going to use Beat Up to hit Terrakion 4 different times, and each time Terrakion is hit with a dark type damaging move, Justified activates, increasing its attack 1 stage, which means Terrakion is going to be jumping to a free +4 with very little effort. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to leave these two here, and if we get something that is slower than both of these Pokemon, we just go straight for the Beat Up, and if we don't, we click Tailwind with Whimiscott, and then depending on if we're scared of taking a hit with Terrakion, we click Protect, or if we're confident we'll survive, we go for a Rock Slide. That extra speed from the Tailwind with Rock Slide means we're going to take advantage of the fact that Rock Slide has great odds of making both targets flinch when it makes contact. So if we make our opponents flinch, great. And if we're too scared to take a hit with Terrakion while Whimiscott's getting the setup ready, well, we go for that Protect and keep it nice and safe. Once Terrakion gets its +4 attack setup here, we have Sacred Sword, Iron Head, and as mentioned, Rock Slide to do as much damage as possible. Sacred Sword is a great stab option here for Terrakion because it bypasses the defensive boosts that our opponents could set up. So if we run into something like, say, Hisuian Goodra, Registeel, or even Archaludon, all of these things that like to boost their physical defense, well, we can just bypass that and just do major damage to them, so long as they don't go for a Terra Ghost for that matter. But anyways, that's beside the point. And then we have Iron Head for some very specific matchups, specifically Fairy types, Fluttermane, or, you know, any Pokemon that might want to go for Terra Fairy and just otherwise throw a wrench in our plans. Well, we have the Iron Head with their name on it. And yes, I am looking at you, Raging Bolt, otherwise that would have been high horsepower. As far as the rest of the team goes here, we have Terra Fire on our Landorus-Therian to make sure that it cannot be burned because we are holding the Assault Vest, which means we can't use Protect. So taking a burn is not the most ideal thing, so if we pop that Terra Fire, well, problem solved. We have Earthquake and Stomping Tantrum both for ground type damage. Earthquake here is to hit the entire field if we need to, and Stomping Tantrum is here if we need to hit a specific target. Because our Incineroar does not have Protect on here, it's probably best not to take out our Incineroar with an Earthquake, so we have that Stomping Tantrum for that matter. We have Rock Slide here to take advantage of the fact that Landorus 2 can make our opponents flinch with the Tailwind support, and if we're in a situation that Landorus just doesn't want to be in, or if we just want to recycle our Intimidate, we have U-turn to pivot Landorus out. We have Latias here as a backup Tailwind setter here in case something happens to Whimiscott. Tragically, we do have that Tailwind, so we don't have to worry too much. We have Ice Beam here to help deal with opposing Landorus, specifically Landorus Incarnate. Landorus really does not appreciate that 4x ice weakness, which Latias just has that Ice Beam ready to go, and a lot of Landorus like to run Terra Poison. Well, luckily for us, Latias is a Psychic type, which means we have that Mist Ball, which I do have to remember is not a fairy move, but Mist Ball here is a nice Psychic type option for Latias. It's its signature attack with a 50% chance of lowering the target's special attack. That's definitely going to be very handy at the end of the day. And we have Recover on Latias, since Latias is a bulky Pokemon. If it gets worn down, we can just use Recover to keep it around for a little bit of extra time, and then that way Latias can just get reinvigorated and continue to go hard. As far as our Incineroar goes, it's the typical Incineroar support with Fake Out and Parting Shot, but we do have Helping Hand on this to give our attacks a 50% boost and just try to go for that extra damage. Finally, we have Empoleon. This Empoleon here, it has the competitive ability, which means if any of its stats get lowered by the opponent, especially an Intimidator, its special attack stat is going to go up 2 stages, which will be incredibly handy, meaning Empoleon will have extra firepower at its disposal. We have the Life Orb on here to make sure that all of our damaging moves get a little extra oomph as well. We have Water Pledge here for some water type stab. We have Flash Cannon for some steel type stab. And then we have Grass Knot to hit any ground types that come our way. Since Stellar does not change our defensive typing at all, we do have to be weary of ground type Pokemon. And if there's any ground types that are immune to water type attacks, it's nice to have that Grass Knot as a little bit of extra coverage. Anyways, that's the team in a nutshell. Let's jump on into some battles. All right, here we go. Ooh, Articuno. Nice. Okay, so Oh, this is Tio's team, the Utrecht team from yeah, the Utrecht special event. This is the team. I'm pretty sure they had an Ogerpon. I know they did have the Hisuian Arcanine. So if this is the exact team, that Articuno is Choice Specs with Sheer Cold. Yeah, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Freeze Dry, and Sheer Cold. So that could be a little bit scary for everything on my team. But that said, Beat Up Rock Slide is going to be very nice here. So if I remember right too, that Arcanine is Intimidate though. So maybe what I'm going to do is maybe I'll... Oh, wait, I have Clearing. I forgot I had the Clearing Amulet on my Terrakion. So we'll go Terrakion Whimiscott. I think what we'll do here is we will bring the Empoleon and hope this actually is good. I don't know yet. I haven't tried out Empoleon, so we're going to test it out. We're going to see if this is okay. And you know what? I think we might need Latias. So we'll do that. We'll bring the Terrakion Whimsicott lead. I do not want to pop that Terra Grass in front of that Articuno. So this might be an Empoleon thing. Luckily, Empoleon does resist ice type attacks, and even Freeze Dry is going to be neutral on Empoleon. So it is Arcanine Ninetales. So, if I remember right, too, this Arcanine is also Bandit. So, I think what I'm going to do is... I think I'm going to go for the... I think I'm going to go for the Iron Head right into the Ninetales, and I think I'm going to Tailwind. And then this way, we should be able to outspeed that thing before the Aurora Veil goes up, which is going to be huge. So, my opponent's going to switch out the Arcanine. So, it is the Landorus. Okay. This just got a little bit spooky for Terrakion, but at the end of the day, we have the Iron Head for you. You're gone. Bring out the Articuno. But on a serious note, Empoleon is in a little bit of a sketchy position because of that Landorus. So long as we still have our Tailwind, great. Now, what we could do, because they don't have any speed, is we could try to deal with the Arcanine right here and go for the Sacred Sword. Pop the Terra Grass regardless on Terrakion. Because we have Latias in the back to deal with the Landorus. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pop that Beat Up. Go for that. Landorus probably goes for a Sludge Bomb into Whimsicott. Here's the Terra. Alright, so what's it going to be? It's the Arcanine. I'm pretty sure this is Terra Normal too. No, it's... Oh, right, it's Terra Ghost. Right. Alright, Sacred Sword's not going to do me any favors, but what we can do here is we can at least get our setup. We didn't pop our Terra on Terrakion, so we at least get the +4 into our attack. If Landorus goes for Terrakion, well, I kind of deserve this now. But if they don't, and they try to get rid of Whimsicott, great. Arcanine has Rock Slide, which I could definitely see it locking into. I'm pretty sure it's got Flare Blitz and Head Smash, maybe? Substitute is going to let Landorus just torment me, but at the same time, like I said, I do have the Latias. So, what I can do here is I can go for a Rock Slide of my own, or I can Iron Head into the Landorus slot. I think I'm going to pop the Terra Grass and I'm going to Rock Slide. And I'm going to Moonblast into the Landorus slot. And this way, too, depending on how much damage Whimsicott can do, we should be able to break Landorus' substitute this turn. And then this way, I should be able to survive an Earth Power or a Sandseer. If I'm remembering right, I think Landorus is Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Substitute, Protect. And that was enough to break it, so that is really nice. We get our +4 Rock Slide off. That's a double KO right there. Thank you, Terrakion. So, goodbye, Arcanine. Goodbye, Landorus. Also, thank you, Max Special Attack, Whimsicott. Don't leave home without it. But anyways, what I can do here is I can see how much I have for my own Tailwind and just go from there. They brought the Raging Bolt. They didn't even bring out the Articuno. Okay. So, there's 2 turns of Snow left. This is my last turn of Tailwind. I can go Sacred Sword into you, and I can just go Moonblast. And my opponent forfeits. Alright, so the Articuno would have been really fun to show, especially since this is coming out directly after I did my Articuno team. But the nice thing here is that team is public knowledge, so it definitely helps knowing what the team can do. Otherwise, that could have been really bad for me. And I mean, case in point, I forgot the Arcanine is Terra Ghost, so that Sacred Sword did me nothing, but I did know it was Choice Band, so that does help. I'm very happy with how that played out at the end of the day, and also, good game to my opponent. Alright, we are up against Farigiraf, Primarina, Dragonite, Rillaboom, Tinglu, and Heatran. Alright, so my opponent has 3 special attackers and a Tinglu. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so my Latias and Empoleon really do not like that, but my Landorus and Terrakion do. So that does help a little bit. I think what we'll do is we'll go... I think we'll bring the Incineroar. And what we'll do here, because my opponent's team does not look like they have a lot of speed, so I feel pretty confident in bringing my Landorus and Terrakion, because the Terrakion can easily outspeed a lot of these things, because I do think Trick Room is coming. So I can always go for Helping Hand off of Incineroar, and I'm pretty sure I have Parting Shot on this thing too. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I could always go for the Helping Hand, and then that way that could just get me around the Whimsicott shutdown if they do have that with Fake Out. So I think we bring Landorus here, and why not? Let's bring Empoleon. Maybe Empoleon will do something, maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. I don't know which order I'm going to put this in, but I did bring Empoleon to another match, whether this is first or after, and Empoleon just sat on the bench. But anyways, maybe Empoleon will do something. I don't know. But anyways, Rillaboom and Dragonite into Terrakion and Incineroar. That is a little bit concerning for my Terrakion, but it's not the worst thing imaginable. So we know it's inner focus on the Dragonite. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to straight Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom and protect with Terrakion, because either one of 2 things are going to happen. Either they Fake Out Terrakion or they Fake Out Incineroar, or they Grassy Glide Terrakion. So they're going to go Terra immediately, so maybe Terra Normal Dragonite, or maybe Terra Fire Rillaboom. It's Dragonite, so probably Terra Normal. No, Terra Dragon, okay. That's different. Okay, so we'll protect Terrakion here. I was worried it was going to be Rillaboom going into a Terra Fire, so that it just... Okay, they just Fake Out Incineroar. That's fine. I can always go for Helping Hand, Terra Grass, Terrakion and then go for the Dragonite if I wanted to. I do like the idea of going for that Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom. Maybe what I'll do instead is I'll switch in Landorus. I just remembered I don't have an Ice-type attack on my Empoleon. I just realized it's Grass Knight too. I was going to say, I could always try to get Empoleon out here and see if I can pull off an Ice Beam, but unfortunately I don't have that. But what we can do here is we can get Rillaboom's attack even lower, and we go for the Flare Blitz into it. Incineroar is going to take that. It doesn't appreciate that raw amount of damage, but it's not the worst thing imaginable. So we're going to nail this Rillaboom with a Flare Blitz, and man, okay. I took a lot of damage this turn, but Terrakion is safe for now. That's kind of what matters at the moment. That's enough to pick up Rillaboom. That's great. So we've only seen the Dragon Claw off this Dragon Knight. I don't think that necessarily means it's Choice Bandit yet, but we'll have to find out. Primarina is going to come in here. So the Terra Grass on Terrakion might be needed here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Helping Hand and Rock Slide, and then this way I can get a little bit of chip into both of these things. And on the off chance they go for Incineroar with Dragonite, great. I think a Hyper Voice is coming my way off Primarina. That's an insane amount of damage coming from the Dragonite. We got to do something about that. It's just a Hyper Voice off the Primarina, so Incineroar is going to go down here. Empoleon's finally coming out. I do have Grass Knot on... Oh, it's Life Orb on the Primarina, too. I do have Grass Knot on Empoleon, so I can hit Primarina for some super effective damage. I think what I do have to do here is I do think I have to pop the Terra Grass on my Terrakion. That's not going to do much to deal with the Dragon Claw, but at least that way I should be able to not go down to a Hyper Voice. So I'm going to go for the Terra Grass. I'm going to go for the Sacred Sword. And we've seen 3 Dragon Claws in a row. I'm just going to double into the Dragonite. I'm going to try to get rid of this thing. Okay, they switched out. I'm starting to suspect that might actually be choiced. Or they just wanted to do that to my Terrakion. But Sacred Sword is coming into Tinglu, and you're still taking a Flash Cannon. I might be okay here. I might be okay, I might not be. We'll find out. We get the Terra Grass off. Now, I don't think Primarina tends to run ice coverage outside of Icy Wind, so I should be alright. I don't think the Flash Cannon is going to be enough. No, it isn't, but I can always go for a Rock Slide. There's the Hyper Voice. We're going to resist that relatively nicely here. We do take a crit onto Terrakion, and Primarina is going to take a little bit of chip off its Life Orb. So Terrakion's the fastest thing on the field, followed by Empoleon. So if we get rid of Tinglu here, which a Rock Slide should be more than enough to do that, we might be able to pick up a double into the Primarina with the Empoleon. Okay, so there's a Protect. Fine. We might be able to pick up a Flinch off of Primarina with this Rock Slide. So this should still connect and do a good chunk of damage. I lied. But anyways, because Tinglu is still there, we don't pick up the Primarina. But the nice thing is at least Vessel of Ruin is weakening Primarina's damage as well. So that is nice. So I think what I can do here is I think I can go for the Rock Slide. And I think I can go for the Flash Cannon right into the Tinglu. And then this way, if it dodges the Rock Slide, Primarina's going to go for the Protect. That's okay. We miss the Rock Slide on Primarina, but we still connect with Tinglu. The Flash Cannon at this range should be enough. So now what's probably going to happen Dragonite's probably going to come in. If it's Choice Bandit, we're probably going to see a ground type attack into Empoleon, or maybe just another Dragon Claw. Hard to say. So, we do have the Dragonite there. Rillaboom is gone too, so we're down to their last two. I'm going to protect with Terrakion this one turn here. And I'm going to see if I can get rid of Primarina. I honestly think that they go for the Terrakion with the Dragonite, so I want to see if Empoleon can pick off the Primarina here, and then that way I at least have the Flash Cannon to hit Dragonite with. Oh, it's that Thunder Punch. Awesome. Okay. I honestly thought that it was going to be Terrakion getting attacked by Dragonite, but all right. Let's go for the Rock Slide. Who knows? Maybe I'm faster. Maybe. For all I know, it could be Choice Scarf though. So. Also, I can't pick up a flinch into a Dragonite. It's Inner Focus. So. I am faster. That is good to know. There's the Thunder Punch. I'm going to live it. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I take out the Dragonite from this range. So let's see. Close, but no cigar. Unfortunately, I get KO'd there. That was an incredibly close game. I am happy with how that played out. What I should have did, though, is I should have protected Empoleon and gone for the attack with Terrakion instead, because at least I knew Terrakion was guaranteed to be faster than Primarina. Now, if that had been Choice Bandit like I suspected, then yes, we should have been okay speed-wise, but on the off chance that it was Scarf, like that was the main reason why I didn't want to try with the Terrakion, but at the end of the day, that was probably Choice Bandit. Anyways, good game to my opponent. All right, we got Archaludon, Tornadus, Fluttermane, Golden Go, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and King Gambit. All right, so a lot of things here do not appreciate Terrakion. We have Sacred Sword for Archaludon. We have it for the Ursaluna. We got it for the King Gambit. If the King Gambit's running Terra Fairy, maybe, we have an Iron Head. We have an Iron Head regardless for Fluttermane. So Terrakion looks extremely good here. So what do we want to do? Do we want to bring Latias and Terrakion? Do we want to bring Whimsicott and Terrakion? Landorus is really nice here too, because we do have the Assault Vest to help it deal with the Fluttermane. We have the Earthquake if we want to pair it with Latias. We can do some major damage to things, and plus, outside of the Fluttermane, I don't really see a Trick Room setter, so this could be really handy. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go Whimsicott and Terrakion, bring Landorus here, and I think we're going to bring Latias. I think Incineroar is going to sit on the bench here, so, you know, a Fluff Ball and 3 legendaries, yeah, that's legit. Okay, so we could do that. In all seriousness, popping Terra Fire on Landorus or Terra Grass on Terrakion might be really handy for dealing with that Fluttermane. So let's see who it is going to be. It is Archaludon and Tornadus. Great. All right. So I don't want to pop Terra Grass in front of the Tornadus. But what I really do like doing here is I do like going for the Tailwind. And I could go for the Rock Slide. I could just go for, you know what, I'm just going to go straight Protect. And then this way, unless they double up into the Whimsicott, I'll get my Tailwind, and then I can always go for my Beat Up into the Terrakion. And then that way we'll hit our +4 attack, and we'll just do some major damage that way. So they're going to go for the Rain Dance with the Torn, maybe an Electro Shot out of the Archaludon to boost the special attack. There. Okay. Now, the nice thing here is Whimsicott's a Grass type, so we should be living this no problem. And that Archaludon is extremely scary now, so I think we might want to go for the Beat Up and maybe a Sacred Sword. I think maybe we do that. The nice thing here is Terrakion does have the ability to get set up and do some major damage to that Archaludon. And it's neutral to the Bleak Wind, so Bleak Wind's a guaranteed hit. Whimsicott will take some damage, but we have the Tailwind. I think we're going to go for the Sacred Sword into the Archaludon. I really do not think we're going to be seeing a Terra Ghost off this thing. If at anything, maybe a Terra Poison to resist fighting. That could be really bad, actually. I don't know why I say these things after I push the button and then freak myself out, but here we go. That's going to withdraw. That's nice. All right. So is it maybe a Fluttermane? No, it's Golden Go. Okay. So we're going to get our beat up. The Archaludon's set up, but if I can get some good damage off into that thing, maybe pick up a knockout, great. We're going to get the +4. I'm glad I didn't burn my Terra Grass in front of that Tornadus. And honestly, having the Rock Slide is going to be incredibly great. That phrasing was awful. I'm sorry. Anyways, here comes the Sacred Sword, and that is going to be just a straight-up KO. The Golden Go comes in here in front of Terrakion. We know Tornadus is in the back, so depending on what the last thing is, if it's maybe Fluttermane, a Rock Slide could be really nice. Terra Grass might not be bad for Terrakion, but if they want to just go for a Make It Rain, they can go for the Make It Rain. Whimsicott still has its Focus Sash intact. Oh, that is really nice to know. I think we'll Protect. We had 2 more turns of Tailwind. And I just really want to get a Rock Slide off into these Pokemon here. So we're going to see the Terra come. If it's Terra Steel off Golden Go, that's extremely bold. Maybe it's Terra Ghost? Oh. Okay. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I have a Landorus in the back. If you Make It Rain, sure. I'll lose Terrakion. But you're going to take some major damage. So who's going to be faster here? Oh, it's Golden Go. Okay, so Terrakion's going to take this, unfortunately, but we kept Whimsicott alive. Pop of the Terra Grass might have been all right there, but we have the Landorus in the back. We have an Assault Vest, and on top of that, we have Terra Fire. So I think what I want to do is I want to pop that Terra on the Landorus, go for the Earthquake, potentially, switch Whimsicott into Latias, and then that way Latias comes in here. Yeah, and then I have Whimsicott in the back as well. The only thing is Whimsicott and Latias both are not doing anything that Golden Go. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to switch out the Whimsicott into the Latias, and we'll pop the Terra Fire, and we'll go for the Earthquake, and then that way we get more damage off into the Golden Go. Or not. I lied. Okay, so whoever's coming in here is not going to appreciate an Earthquake. Oh, it's Ursaluna. All right, so Whimsicott's going to switch out. Latias switches in, which is nice because we do have the Ice Beam pressure. So that is going to be one handy thing, is we'll get some good damage off into the Ursaluna regardless, because this is, at the end of the day, still a Landorus. A Landorus-Therian at that. So we'll get our Terra Fire off. Landorus is going to now be able to be hit by ground-type attack, so I do have to be careful that way. So the Bleak Wind Storm just bounces off, which is nice. Latias is going to take a speed drop, which is a little bit spooky, but we're going to at least get that Earthquake off, get some damage into the Ursaluna. So my Tailwind is gone. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to straight Ice Beam into the Ursaluna, and I'm going to switch Whimsicott back in. I want to get that Ice Beam off into the Ursaluna, and then that way, if Landorus is nice and able to come in here for the Golden Go matchup, that would be great for the cleanup. So let's see here. The other question is if Latias is bulky enough to take this. That's the That's the main concern. So we are going to take another Bleak Wind. Can I live a Hyper Voice? That's the other question. Or do they go for the Blood Moon into the Whimsicott slot? Please go for the... Oh, they went for the Earth Power. Nice. All right. So we're going to get this Ice Beam off right into the Ursaluna. So that's going to be huge. We didn't see a Life Orb either. That's not enough to KO, though. But we get the freeze. Yes, okay. So, the rain is stopped, which means Latias now has a chance to get a recover off. And I want to Rock Slide with Landorus. If we can get some HP back with Latias, that's great. So, we'll click the recover, we'll click the Rock Slide. Golden Go might switch in here. Oh, they are going to connect the Bleak Wind, so that's a little bit scary for Latias. But Ursaluna's frozen solid. Also, that Ursaluna... Oh, yeah, because they still have their Tailwind. That Ursaluna is still hanging on there, so that's a little bit scary. But we'll get our HP back for Latias. Their Tailwind just petered out, so I think what's going to happen is they're going to go for another Tailwind, so I'm going to go for another Recover, and then this way, if they stay frozen, I'll at least get some more HP back with Latias. Because on the off chance that they don't go for the... If they go for the Bleak Wind instead, well, now they can potentially miss because there's no more Rain Dance. So I think what happens here is they go for the Tailwind and they hope they thaw out. So if we get rid of Tornadus before Tailwind goes back up, great. Golden Go comes in, and now Landorus and Latias together should be alright. So there's the Tailwind. Do they stay frozen? They do. So, in theory, we should be able to at least knock out the... Who dodged? Ursaluna dodged. This bear just... How? You're frozen! Okay. Latias is going to get back some more HP. So, a Shadow Ball could be especially bad for Latias, but it's not the worst thing imaginable. Golden Gold can come in. I do resist Make It Rain with the Landorus, so I can honestly click Earthquake in the face of this thing. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least click the Tailwind too, and then that way we can try to get Landorus a little bit faster. Oh, there's a Power Gem. Oh, we held on. Okay. This just got spicy. Because I'm still getting Tailwind off for Landorus. So, the Power Gem just was not enough, and we almost KO'd the Golden Go. Nice. Alright, so at this range, even Latias should be able to handle that Golden Go. Yeah, we should be able to pick that off of a Mist Ball. So we'll click that, and we'll click the Earthquake, and that should be game. So Golden Go is still faster, surprisingly. We're going to lose Landorus, but Latias is actually going to pick up the KO. Yeah, okay. I guess I greatly underestimated my Latias with the bulk for the Tailwind. I honestly thought that Landorus was the main piece. I mean, Landorus took most of the HP, but at the end of the day, that worked out really good for Latias. I'm actually really happy with how that worked out. We did get extraordinarily lucky with the RNG, with the freeze, so I can't discredit my opponent for that. I think they played really good as well, so good game to my opponent. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out this Terrakion and Whimiscott team in action. We had 3 solid games, and despite going 2-1, I am very happy with how we ended up playing our games. In game 1 here, we ended up featuring a copy of the Utrecht winning Articuno team, and fortunately for that Articuno, it did not come to that match because Terrakion just had a wonderful time. We were able to one-shot the Ninetales turn 1 thanks to Tailwind, just upping the speed for Terrakion, allowing it to get that Iron Head off into the Ninetales. And despite the little flub up of going for a Sacred Sword into the Hisuian Arcanine as it went for Terra Ghost, we did get the beat up strategy off with Whimsicott, giving Terrakion a +4 attack boost. And while my opponent did correctly call the fact that I did go for the Sacred Sword into the Arcanine, they went for a substitute with their Landorus, only to find out the hard way that my Whimsicott had enough special attack investment to break that substitute the following turn, which opened up the Landorus to receive a +4 Rock Slide from Terrakion, which picked up a double KO into both Landorus and the Arcanine, leaving only the Raging Bolt left. In our follow-up game, we ended up going up a team featuring Ting Lu as well as Terra Dragonite, which I'm fairly convinced was a Choice Banded set, considering the raw amount of damage that Dragonclaw did to my Incineroar, as well as the fact that it seemed that they had locked themselves into Dragonclaw earlier on, and when they had switched out into Ting Lu and then came back into Dragonite, they did 2 back-to-back Thunder Punches. But the nice thing there was when they did switch into Ting Lu took a Sacred Sword to the face alongside a Flash Cannon from Empoleon. Now, Empoleon didn't do much this video, but it definitely went down trying to put up a fight there. We ended up hitting that Ting Lu with the Flash Cannon, and we did some significant damage to that Primarina with the Grass Knot on the Empoleon, though I do wish that I had maybe Icy Wind or Ice Beam on my Empoleon to try to get around that Dragonite, so that might be a change that might needs to be adjusted into the future. We didn't pull the the Stellar Terra. That was a little hard to get out of me, but anyways, we didn't pull the Stellar Terra out on Empoleon, but that would have been fun to test out eventually, so maybe Empoleon will come back for a future video. I don't know. Anyways, we ended up boiling down to Dragonite coming back in and finishing off the Empoleon with a Thunder Punch, and luckily Terrakion was able to hold out against one of those Thunder Punches, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to pick up the KO into both the Primarina and the Dragonite. I probably needed 2 of the Sacred Swords to knock out the Dragonite, but at the end of the day, we left Dragonite with a tiny sliver of its HP, so I'm pretty happy with how Terrakion fared in that battle. And then finally, our third game, Latias got its defining moment because we played a team that had Goldengo, Tornadus, Archaludon, and Ursa Luna Blood Moon. And what boiled down there was we ended up getting rid of the Archaludon extremely fast with Terrakion's Sacred Sword and the Beat Up strategy, and although Terrakion went down fairly quick itself thanks to Goldengo's Make It Rain and the Tailwind just allowing it to outpace my Terrakion with the Make It Rain, we did bring in our Terrafire Landorus and our Latias to deal with the Ursaluna Blood Moon that then quickly replaced the Goldengo. We were able to get some chip damage off into Ursaluna with an Earthquake, and then when Latias clicked the Ice Beam, we picked up the Freeze, which just rendered Ursaluna immobile for 3 turns, and then it just basically sat there for the rest of the game. We were able to finish off Tornadus with Landorus's Rock Slide, and weirdly enough, we did miss Ursaluna with a Rock Slide, so the idea of a Frozen Bear dodging an attack is a little weird to me, but we were able to pick that up, and we were able to live a Power Gem off of the Goldengo just long enough to land an Earthquake and take most of that thing's HP while finishing off the Ursaluna, which allowed Latias to finish the Goldengo with a Mist Ball. And plus, Latias took a phenomenal amount of hits and then recovered off all of that damage. It had to go for 2 recovers, but Latias was at full HP by the end of the battle, which I was pretty happy about. Anyways, thank you guys once again so much for watching. If you like the team, be sure to let me know. And if you want to see some information on the team as well, I'll have a Pokebase linked in the description as well. Anyways, I will see you later.